Good morning. Today is math lesson 113. I'll quickly go over the questions. If I'm going too fast, just pause the video, write down what you need to, and submit your answers or whatever you need to. Just pause the video. I'm going to go fast to keep this video short. So our first question on math lesson 113 for Tuesday, April 28th is Carrie drove to visit her cousin who lives 3,000 miles away. Remember how we taught you in class to write down the information as we go. Let me write down 3,000 miles. If Carrie drives 638 miles the first day, 456 miles the second day, and 589 miles the third day, how much further does she need to drive to get to her cousin's house? And it says be sure to label. So our label on this one is going to be miles, but it's a two-step problem. All right, so let's add up the 3 days that she drove, and then we'll subtract it from the 3,000 miles that she needs to drive. So you have 6 plus 9 plus 8 is 23. We write our 3, carry our 2. We add up these. I know 8 and 2 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 3 is 18, carry my 1. 6 and 4 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. All right, now I'll take that 1,683 miles and subtract it from the 3,000 miles to find miles she still needs to go. So once you get your answer, 3,000 minus 1,683, you will write it as miles. All right, number 2, we have a perimeter of a square that is 2 meters. So the perimeter equals 2 meters. Now it wants our answer in centimeters, so we need to convert 2 meters to centimeters. If you remember correctly, when I had my big yardstick in class, each meter is 100 centimeters. So this is going to be 200 centimeters. And now a square has 4 sides, so you'll divide it by 4 to find out how many centimeters long each side is. So to figure out number 2, let's go 200 centimeters divided by 4. All right, go ahead and pause the video if I'm going too fast. I'm going to go ahead and set up number 3 while you're working on that. So number 3 has an odd shape that it wants us to answer some questions on. Kind of looks like a fat state of Utah. It looks like this. All right, now we have 8 feet. 2 feet, 7 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, and 12 feet. All right. How many feet of molding are needed to go around the perimeter of the room? So you'll need to find the perimeter. So you'll go 8 plus 2 plus 7 plus 10 plus 12 plus 15 to figure out your answer for the first one. Now it asks how many square floor tiles, 1 foot square floor tiles are needed to cover the floor, so you'll need to find the area. All right, so if we add these up, I'm going to quickly go, these two are 10, and we have 10 here. And so those two together are 20. Then we have 15, so that's 35. Then we have plus 12 and 7. All right, so let's go 35 plus 12 plus 7 to figure out the first one, which is the perimeter. Perimeter equals. Now our next one, we're going to divide it into 2 squares. So this is 8 feet by 2. It will tell us how many square feet this little guy is right here. Then this one is going to be 10 feet by 15 feet. So let's go 10 times 15 feet. So 8 times 2 is 16 feet squared, and then 10 times 15 feet is 150 feet squared. So you'll add those two together. So let's add, my notes are a little jumbled here, so we'll add 16 feet squared plus 150 feet squared to figure out your area for the second question. Now, the easiest way to label this would be SQ period space FT for square feet on the area. But you don't need to label it on the assignment because you just need to push the bubble. All right. Number 4, we need to multiply money, $3.20 times 46. So why would I need to know this? I'm thinking if I'm buying some boxes of cereal for my food storage and I buy 30 or 46 boxes of cereal at about $3.20, that's why I would need to know this. Or if I'm just trying to think, a book, if I want to buy books for our classroom and I want 46 books and they each cost $3.20, those are some real life application questions that we need this for. So first let's go 6 times each of those. So 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. Write my 2, carry my 1. 6 times 3 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. All right, now we'll go, because we're multiplying by 40, we'll just immediately put our 0 there. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. All right, now I'll add these up while putting my decimal right there. So you can add up 1,920 and 12,800 to figure out. And don't forget your decimal and your label. It'll have you label it on there. There's not a bubble to fill in on this one. Number 5, we will be reducing fractions. So our first fraction, and again, if I'm going too fast and you need to finish that previous problem, pause the video and go ahead and finish that. So to reduce the fraction, our first one is 3/9. So I look at this and I think, what can go into 3 and 9? Well, I know that 3 will go into both of those. So how many times does 3 go into 3? 1 time. How many times does 3 go into 9? So 9 divided by 3? 3 times. So 3/9 is equivalent to 1/3. Our next one is 4/10. Again, I look, what number would go into both of these? 4 doesn't go into 10, so it can't be 4. 3 doesn't go into either. 2 will go into 4 and 10. So how many times does 2 go into 4? So 4 divided by 2 is 2. How many times will 2 go into 10? 10 divided by 2 is 5. So our second one is 2/5. So 4/10 is equivalent to 2/5. Our next one is 4/5. Okay, what number will go into both of these? Well, I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking 5 is a prime number, which means there's only 2 factors, 1 and itself, so 1 and 5. So you can't reduce 5 because it's a prime number, so this one's going to stay the same. Our next one, and the last one for number 5, is 5/10. What number will go into both of these? Now again, we just talked about how 5 is a prime number and you can't really reduce it except for 1 and 5. So, 10. What goes into 10? 1, 10, 2, 5. 5 goes into both of them. So how many times does 5 go into 5? 1 time. How many times does 5 go into 10? 5, 10. So 2. So 5/10 is equivalent to 1/2. So if I have a cake cut into 10 slices and I eat 5 of those slices, I'm eating 1/2 of that cake. All right, our last problem for today is number 6, and it's 307 times 25. Now, I think of this like money a lot, so I think if a quarter is worth 25 cents. So if I had 307 quarters in my piggy bank, how much money would I have? Now, this isn't a money problem, so you don't need to label it as money, but I think that's when I would use this, is if I'm figuring out how much money I have in my piggy bank. All right, so let's go 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times, so I put my 5, carry my 3. 5 times 0 is 0 plus 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Now we're going to multiply by 20, so I'm going to automatically put my 0 there and then multiply by 2. So 2 times 7 is 14. Carry my 1. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 1. So I write my 1. 2 times 3 is 6. All right, you'll need to add these numbers together, 1,535 and 6,140. I'm going to let you do that and then submit your answer. Thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I hope you guys are doing well and everybody's happy and healthy. Bye!